Welcome in to the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska East sports coach.
Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
Here is your host, Ahman Green.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? What's up, Austin, man?
Hey, G.
What's good with you?
It's the draft night.
I know.
That's what's up.
Draft day, draft night. I was just watching it before I left the house. I went home, grabbed me a little bite to eat. Got some sweet potato crackers over here.
Ooh.
And I did a blueberry, raspberry, strawberry smoothie. You know, being
Yes,
healthy.
sir.
Being healthy.
Yes,
And then I turned on TV, got there about 5. And they was doing lead up, NFL Network doing their thing, leading up to the draft.
Mhm.
And they had CJ Stroud, him and his mom and his sister. And then next was was it a running back? No, it was actually it was your guy we were just talking about.
Not Levis.
Yeah, it was Levis and,
Oh,
and his parents.
Okay.
It was Levis and his parents. Right before I walked out of the house, I was like, and Levis. So they were doing the lead in. So it was and we were just talking here with Jay a few minutes ago at the top of the hour on Jay Foreman's show, and or what's it called? Old School. I like it.
Old School,
Yeah,
yes,
I
sir.
like the name. Of course, yeah, he's definitely that. He is old school in terms of what comes out of his mouth. Oh my God.
DP was saying between hours that the best Jay is the off-air Jay. He's good
Yeah.
on there. He brings the goods,
Yeah.
but
he knows his
different.
limits. Like not his limits. He knows when he can't cross certain lines.
he knows where it's at. He knows.
On air. He knows, okay, I gotta slow down. I can't say that live on the show.
Did you see the clip on Twitter earlier this week of Jay and the Hot Wings?
No. Oh, I gotta go look for it.
Okay, Nick Seinert's Twitter.
Okay.
So I'm being told that I've got to do it. Strick's got to do it.
Oh, it's like a challenge.
Yeah.
Is it a hot wing?
The
thing?
hot wing challenge.
Oh,
Yeah, the hot
I'm
wings.
in. I'm in.
You're in. You're
I'm
gonna
in.
do
I'll
it.
do it. I don't
Yes.
even. I've done this a lot. I'm a competitor,
You are.
and I'm down for this. So
Excellent.
nothing really scares me unless I know it's like the worst one I did was the first one I did.
Okay.
Was when Hooters was a thing,
Mhm.
and I was down in Miami visiting a friend of mine. His name's Art, Cuban, and great guy. And I've known him for 20 plus years. And so one of our first times hanging out, I went down there for a spring break. I never had spring break here because of spring football.
Sure.
So I'm in the league. I'm in Green Bay. I go down there and visit, and I'm like, man, let's go to, we like decided on Hooters. And I don't know what we got. No, he got challenging me because we were always back and forth sports arguments.
Mhm.
And we should have had a podcast in because he's from Florida. And he think that anything out of the state of Florida was the best. The athletes, the weather, the food, the women, the video, whatever.
Mhm.
If it was made or born or created in Florida, it was the bee's knees. So I'm like, bro, you ain't been. And at the time, he hadn't been nowhere else. I said, that's your problem.
That's why.
You're not cultured.
Expand your
You ain't-
horizons.
You ain't been to the West Coast. You ain't been further like West South, like Texas and Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, New Orleans, Louisiana. Haven't been up north. He's like talking about his cash, and so we would go back and forth. So we got into one of those arguments, and he's like, he looked at the menu at Hooters. He's like, I got something for you. I'm like, let's do the 8 Mile challenge. It was the 8 Mile Island sauce
Okay.
that you throw
That
it on
strikes
the
me as Detroit, not Florida, but okay.
Yeah, it was called 8 Mile sauce
Okay.
or something. And something with 8 Mile in it. Way before 8 Mile, the movie. And we did the challenge. And yeah, that was the first time I don't think I didn't feel my tongue and my lips until like 3 hours later.
3 hours?
That's how hot it was.
Oh my
But I made it through.
God.
I ate it. I kept it in. I didn't throw it up. I didn't need a whole bunch of water or milk or nothing. Trooper. But
Nice.
it was because of him. I'm like, I gotta shut this dude up. He's
And
trash
you
talking.
did.
Yeah, and I did. And so I'm down for this little wing challenge or whatever.
So DP has a connection with the guy that does the hot ones. So I think yeah.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just watched one. God, who was it? It was somebody that's probably. Oh, it was what's her name from Wednesday, the main actress. that plays Wednesday.
Oh, Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega. I saw her hot wing, and she was a G. She no sweating, and she was like, oh, that was it. It was like a little cough. She did like a cough through 3. I think she ate 3 wings and a cough every time, just one little cough. Oh, that kind of stung a little bit, but she was a G. So all right.
I have the video pulled up for Jay that I'll get to you and make sure you see that. DP has said that the bowling girls came in, didn't flinch. I think a couple volleyball players came in, didn't flinch. Track came in, didn't flinch.
Right.
It was the football players, it was the basketball players, the baseball players, even Jay. Like Jay apparently like ran out of the studio, shirt off and everything. Like, this man was done. That's what I'm being told.
I've experienced hot sauces, mixes or whatever, a habanero to the ghost pepper, and it gets hot. It gets a little. Like I said, you're gonna get a little numbness, like I did that 8 Mile one. I mean, that one was serious. I'll never forget that, but I made it through. And recently, I think I just done it. Like I go to it's a Vietnamese place back home or back where I lived in Green Bay, and it was called Nooks, and they had their scale of spiciness from 1 to 4.
Okay.
And I usually I would roll 3 all day, because 3 at least I could taste the other seasonings. Because a 4 is like it's inferno, your mouth is on fire, you can't really taste nothing but the fire,
right?
But the spiciness. So I was like, let me keep it at 3, so I at least could taste if it's chicken, if it's the noodles or the veggie, whatever's in with the rest of the dish.
Enjoy the dish for the dish.
Exactly. Yeah. So because I know, like I said, it will burn my taste buds to numbness, so I don't taste none of the goodness out of it. So
you see me, I'm pretty gringo. Pretty pale.
Yeah.
That's about where my tongue's at too. It's about my palate. Like I don't hate spice. I've just never really pushed myself in that direction.
Yeah.
Like, it was good for me when I went up to spice level 2 at the Chinese place.
Got you.
So I'm trying not to overthink it and dread it, because like you said, you're a competitor. You just got to plow through it. Just get to it. Don't worry about it.
It's all about the mental. And like you said, don't overthink it. That's what I don't care what you're doing. Playing for sports, trying to get ready for something that you want to, win in, whatever. Don't overthink it. I mean, that's stuff. I mentioned this on the show earlier. This during the start of this, that I remember if I did win my first game with with Nebraska as a freshman, and playing against Oklahoma State in that Thursday night kickoff game. And the night before the game, I was a little anxious, a little nervous, and we had our last running back meeting. And Coach Sola, I go up to Coach Sola. She's like, "You okay, Ahman?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm okay." I said, "But I'm a little nervous." I say, "A little anxious." He said, "What's on your mind?" I'm like, "Well, I'm just thinking about the place, thinking about make sure, when I get in there, what, probably won't happen until 4th quarter or not at all, because I was 4th, 5th string on the depth chart." So, but I'm saying, I'm just always, thinking like it could happen. I could be out there, so I got to be ready. He said, "Well, if you're nervous, don't worry about it. That's just part of getting prepared, and that is your body telling you that you are ready to play." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Yeah, he's a lot older than me, and he's definitely sounding like Coach Osborne with the wisdom." So I was like, "You know what, Coach? Thanks, I appreciate that." And it was more of a 5-minute conversation they had than just that one comment, because I was talking about other things. And so when he said that, it just kind of calmed me down. And I went over to we had team snack. Got I usually between the chicken breast and some chips or some French fries and a salad. Get out of there, go get in the bed, watch whatever's on the TV, because there was no streaming apps at that time. There was no DVD.
Different day.
Yeah, I would go there, and Jay Sims was my roommate. Shout out to my man Jay, and he would probably sit there and destroy me on Madden. I was like, Jay, and the funny thing is like we probably seen this scene. So this is the scene. Pretty much every game, we were roommates on the road and away. The scene is it's been done in so many ways. You could go to Friends, you could go to Seinfeld, you could go to whatever cartoon, TV, movie, comedy. Well, I'm playing. I'm sitting with my controller. Jay's playing, sitting with his controller, and Jay is 100% trash talking me, going ham like I'm like the guy, and I'm not the guy. Nobody was the guy against Jay. Jay was awesome. He was the guy. He was the guy,
the dude.
And then he created this trash talking, like it was amazing. The things that he would say, and do, and because dealing with us, it wasn't just me. It was guys like Clinton Childs, Damon Benning, Lawrence, and a few other guys, Tony Veland, who didn't trash talk a whole lot, but other guys he played with, they would trash talk each other at Madden or Double Dribble or NBA Live. And so he just got used to it. But I'm like, Jay, I'm not talking. What are you getting this motivation to trash talk? And you're beating me by 35 points right now. It's only the second quarter. You got this.
Yeah.
I'm
Pump
just
the brakes, my guy.
Yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm just learning, trying to figure out how you're figuring out everything. That's all. He's like, no, you. I'm like,
and now look how these tables turn.
Exactly.
Look what you're doing now.
I finally beat
Did
him.
he inspire you? Does
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
back on that
course.
inspire you to be where you're at?
In the video game space of my life? Yes. I always thought to the day for the final day I finally beat him, which was like within the last 10 years. I was like, I can't wait till that day I could beat this dude. Even though like the trash talking didn't bother me. It was just the losing. It was like,
right, yeah.
It was like, man, it's like you couldn't stop his offense. You can't stop his defense. He'll stop you. And it's never going to be a punt other than kickoffs. And
did it matter what team he played with?
No, it didn't
Really?
matter. No team. He was going to destroy you. If it was a Madden thing, like if he was around today, like I told him, I said, dude, you play any leagues right now? You could be making a really good coin because of he just knew all the little adjustments. He knew how he would switch players. He would put like linebackers at running back or fullback. He was doing that like before I seen like Skimbo, all the Madden pros, Eric Problem, right?
Hope Jay isn't listening because he'll want to go back and play running back after you just said that. But
hey, motivation. But no, he was really good at it. But yeah, it was just interesting, how we would go at it. It would have me dying laughing. I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm not even mad. I'm impressive. He's finding out a way to still get motivated to trash talk a person who's saying nothing,
not a thing,
and he's beat me by like 80 points one time. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
Madden then to Madden today. What's the biggest change? Is it like in the gameplay? Is it just the graphics?
100%.
What's that?
It's the graphics. Obviously, graphics and some of the gameplay. So gameplay now on Madden, I played. You could do all the adjustments that in real life.
Okay.
Audible the routes to whatever receiver, XYZ receiver, from a deep route to a slant, or they call it a zig route, where you start one direction and you come back the other way. Run the whole play. You could just flip the formation to a run from a play action, whatever. Same thing on defense. You could be in the blitz formation or blitz call and then break it and change it to a cover 2 zone or a cover 3 zone or a cover 6, whatever. So it's like all that. And then you could do lineman adjustments, defensive line adjustments, linebacker. So yeah, it is in depth, but if you were there with the transitioning, then it wasn't much of a shock to your system because it was slowly, gradually, and they were putting different stuff in the game year over year. But if you try to jump in it right now, it's going to take you probably if you play probably a whole week, then you will get it by the end of the week. Some of the adjustment. Then as you continue to play, you'll start picking up the mental endurance to remember to do this before snap, do that before kickoff, do this before a run play or a pass play, stuff like that. So yeah, it's interesting.
I haven't played Madden in probably, I'm trying to think, 4 years, 5 years, maybe. I'd be lost. I mean, I know ABXY, I know how to, take a snap and all that, but I'm not getting the fine adjustments down. I'm not tracking anyone down as a defender. Right. That's not happening, Ahman. It's not.
The adjustments were there. So 4 years ago, you would have been okay. It was there. It's just if you knew what buttons they were to activate. But obviously the rosters change. Different teams, different players get traded. So that's the biggest, I say, change up update. Outside of that, I think you'll probably take a couple of days if you played it like hardcore, like 3-4 games a day for about 2 days, 3 days straight. You'll have it back.
The guy I lived with in college, not Jay Sims, but big Madden guy as well, Ahman. But this went a little too far. Again, dude was in my wedding, 11 to pieces. Great guy. He played, I'm trying to think. I think it ended up being 7 seasons of Madden in the first 2 weeks of school.
Like franchise mode?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
7 seasons of franchise mode in the first 2 weeks of school. And needless to say, school didn't pick up again in January for him. That's where it got to.
Got you. So I hope it was some Super Bowls won in that franchise.
I think he said he got 4 or 5 or 6.
Good.
So.
There you go. At least 2. If you putting that much time in franchise mode, I mean, I know people that done franchise mode and they're 20 years deep. And they have like 10 Super Bowls or 20 Super Bowls because they won every year. They learn how to draft in within the game and all that asset. And I get invited. Like I played in 2.
Okay.
And I was doing it because it wasn't actually franchise mode. It was just regular teams.
Okay.
Because I tell people, look, I lived it. Me and Jay lived it. I don't want to play I did negotiations. I did holdouts, being drafted or drafting players. I said that would probably, like, now as a coach, I may want to do that side of it, as you know, because I know how to evaluate players.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the game, so you don't really see, like actual gameplay. You just see stats, and they have a rating. And then you don't know that rating. They kind of hide it. You got to gain so many points to see like stuff where that player is a fit to your roster. If you run, if you're a passing offense, or you're a West Coast offense, and you're a 3-4 defense, and you're looking at a 3-4 linebacker, it doesn't tell you, unless you have enough points to hit all the tabs to unlock them. Then it'll tell you, okay, he'll fit your defense. He's a 3-4 linebacker that has all the attributes you want at your position, your outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense. So you got to make sure you get them right up those points real fast.
Okay, I'm trying to find. Let's see. Okay, I think I found the last Madden rating for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, power. What do you think they gave you?
I know, probably over a 90.
92.
Okay.
Yep. Elusiveness.
Again, that one's borderline, but I always say to them, because when I talk to them, I give them a hard time. I'm like, look, anything doing with running people over, outrunning people, and juking people should be over a 90 across the board.
They give you a 90
on
elusiveness.
Okay.
Receiving.
This one too. We have problems here.
Okay.
It's probably an 80 something, but it should be a 90.
You're taking those option pitches. You know how to catch a football.
Yeah. I'm like, I know how to catching an option pass to catching an actual ball that's thrown the proper way. It's 2 different things. I'd rather it be thrown my way than an option pitch, but obviously it was something I had to do as part of my job. And it was lateral too. It wasn't just like, oh, here's the bar, like here. It's like coming from the left or the right side. So
and you're running away from it, by the way.
And by the way, yeah. And then I might have a linebacker or a DB take my legs out if I don't get around and get my head around and tuck the ball high and tight and jump or whatever I might have to do. A lot of scouts didn't think about that,
They missed the obvious stuff.
Yeah, they missed. I'm like, okay, yeah, I do run a 4-1, but do you realize that is like hand-eye coordination where now all of a sudden they're looking at baseball players who play quarterback, which is Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, a lot of guys that have been drafted. Like, it was the same back end. I played baseball, but I also, was a running back that caught option pitches since high school. Anyway, but we know the story.
They give you an 82. Definitely low.
Yeah.
Okay, the last grade then, pass pro.
So picking up the blitz?
Yeah.
Oh, that should have been like a 95 and up.
They're hating.
I know.
They're hating again.
What is it?
82.
That's terrible. I was
false.
the last lot in defense for Brett and Aaron. Mostly Brett years, obviously, but a few years with Aaron. And I was a guy in the backfield that my linemen, when they knew I was back there, they were super happy. Not that I was running the ball, that I knew all the audibles and I know all the blitz pickup situations and all that. So I know that's why I said 90. I said 90 on up. Just put a 90 on up and cover that. And they just, AEA always have these issues with current and former players. So
94 overall, though.
I'm okay with that, because it's a throwback. But sometimes like they do like year over year cards.
Mm-hmm.
So particular year, obviously the 03 season was my biggest year in the NFL, and so that one has been either a 95 or a 99. They do 90. Sometimes they do like a special thing where everybody becomes a 99. It's like, just do that. That'll make me a little bit happier.
Right.
So I don't have to contact you. I say, hey man, we got to have a conversation. Hey, I'll come down to Orlando. Come to the Tiburon office, man. I know where y'all located. I've been there before. We'll have this conversation over and over again. And then I'm better at Madden. I could beat y'all up in Madden.
Y'all just throwing numbers that you don't even know on me.
Oh man, it's a guy. And I can't think of his name right now. Next time I'm in, I will look it up. Former player, played for the Commanders around my time too. and he did a video, or he wrote a letter to EA.
Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Complaining about his rating because he was a long snapper, and he got rated all these terrible. Even for long snapping, he wasn't even above a 80. He was like a 70 something.
Oh,
I think his overall rating was like 64. That was his overall.
That's worse than rookies.
And he wrote this letter. The letter is amazing. We're gonna have to, like, if we could find that letter one of these next shows. You talking about what coming into my world when to read that video or read that letter? Oh my God, it was amazing. It was beautiful.
Was it Ethan Albright?
Yes.
Is that the name?
That's him.
Yeah.
A long snapper played for the Commanders before they were the Commanders. And man, he goes in on the Madden the EA crew that does the player ratings. Oh my goodness. That is, if you could change that into a stand-up as comedy gold. Oh my God, like a stand-up for Netflix or Prime Video or Hulu. Oh, I don't know if you could put it into an hour. It'd probably only be 30 minutes, but still, it's gonna be the hottest 30 minutes. I read that for the first time. I have a good friend by the name of Hank Basket. He's also a gamer, former pro, and he's in the space like I am. And I stayed the house. I spent the night. I spent the weekend with him and his kids. I went out to LA for E3. He lives in LA, and when he saw me playing Madden, he was like. He's kind of like you. He's like, nah, I ain't playing that. He said, he's like, what's all the clicking? I said, that's all the adjustments. It's just like what we used to do, but in the video game sets. And he's like, nah, I'm good. You can have that. And so then, like, when I flew home, and then he texts me, hey, you got to read this, bro. He's like, bro, you got to read this. He sent me that Evan Albright. Oh my God, I lost it. I was on the airplane dying when we just landed. And it was like, this is classic hilarity right here, because players take that so serious. And like on my other show, Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, I've talked about that pretty much every year when the new Madden comes out. And I find video, because they put the video out where they're interviewing the players live, or not live, but it's on YouTube, and I find it and I put it on my show, and it's comedy gold, because the current players are just like us. They're like, oh, you got me at a 60, really, a 64? They're like, bro, I was a first round draft pick.
It's just disrespectful,
right? I'm like, it is so hilarious. And then it's like, no, it's not. I mean, it is you, but it's not. It's in the game. So I don't know how you can not bring it up to them. But it's just pure hot comedy.
How do you have any insight as to how they go about ranking? Like, do they just?
So
I feel like they're just throwing darts, is what it really
they probably
like.
were before this. So before that, I believe they were throwing darts.
Okay.
Are going with the most person. I said the person with the most football IQ in the room, in the building in Tiburon, down in Orlando. But now they put it on Chad Johnson.
Ocho Cinco?
Really? So he does. He is the Madden player ratings, like, agent, manager. I forget. It's a name. He has a name.
Like an official title.
It's an official title. I just can't think of it right now. But it's something that's called Madden player rating adjuster or something like that. So they kind of alleviated the problem by hiring him to do that to every game. So what he does is once this game drops, when it launches, which is like August sometime, he'll watch all the NFL games. He'll go to certain ones in person. The rest he'll obviously watch on TV. And if a player that's on any roster that's on the field, he watches the game. And if they have a good game, if just like, for example, it's Tyreek Hill. He's in Miami. He has a hell of a game. And Tyreek Hill's already going to be over a 90 in most of his categories. But if he has another 300 yard game, 3 touchdowns or something, he's at 90. Like, if he's already, let's just say he's a 93, and he's probably not. He's probably higher than that. So he's probably just say 95, but he'll probably get rated up. He'll move up a couple to a 97. And so for other players that are lower, like rookies that come out and become like rookies of the year at their position, or clear cut starter that wasn't starting before, then they kind of put it on Chad Johnson. And so now as a player, you might you got to check Chad Johnson. I would check him. If I was currently, I'd be like, hey, bro, we got a problem. I don't care. Yeah, I got respect for you. You had a good game. But we need to have this conversation. What are you looking at, bro? You see, I've done this. I'm a rookie. I'm doing all that. So I would bring that in. It'd be an interesting conversation because Chad Johnson's Chad Johnson. He likes to hear himself talk. And I love him to death. He's a cool dude. He plays FIFA, and man, he used to do a thing where he would pull up. It was a show called, I think he did it on a Twitter, where he'll do Twitter short videos before YouTube became a short video thing, where he will basically pull up to your house and he would challenge you in FIFA.
Really?
Yeah, because he got so good at FIFA where he figured he could go pro in FIFA. I think he did. He played against some pros or played in some pro tournaments. I don't know if he won them. I just know he played in some. But he would come to people's houses all over Florida, and maybe, I don't know about the United States, but definitely Florida, 'cause that's where he lives, and pull up and beat you in your house in FIFA and trash talk you like Jason.
So let's say Ahman Green tomorrow takes over the Madden franchise. How are you getting ratings done? What's your system to get the most accurate ratings for players?
Obviously, I mean, one, just watch game film, and then obviously look at their past stats.
Is it you? Is it a team of people?
Oh, it's
one
a team.
person?
It's a team, because I can't do that. I mean, I only have 2 eyes.
And you got more stuff to do.
Exactly. I got more stuff to do. But so I would sit down when I have, my team of probably, I say at least, it's just like a football team, 11 players. So I'm one of 11 scouts looking at the same film. Maybe we have 2-3 guys or people watch the same game over, like twice or something, and just have them look at different things so they could catch every angle, every different positions, and rate them and go from there. I think a team of 11 or more would suffice to make sure you've seen every angle, every play, the effort, the speed, the agility, all the stuff that we get rated in. And so, and go down that line and be real.
Are you going position by position? Or you going team by team?
Yeah. Either way, you gotta do everybody. That's the one thing. I mean, even the guys,
and college tape for rookies.
Exactly. You got to go through everybody. And so I say basically individual. You said player by player. Yeah, we got to do player by player. Then. I mean, either way, you're going through all of them. If you go team by team or player by player.
Or position by position. Like
watching
running backs one day.
I'll say we could break it down that. To make it kind of more, I say, better. But either way, it gives you a chance to look over everybody. So 100%.
There you go.
So.
For the audience that might not know, you mentioned E3.
Yeah.
Explain E3 to people who might not know.
Okay, so E3 is electronic. It was Entertainment Electronic Expo.
Aha.
I was getting the three E's. Entertainment Electronic Expo. That's the E3. And it's probably been around since the late 90s, if not longer, maybe 2000s. So it might be 20, 25 years old. So it's been around a minute. And all the developers there. So the developers are, for definition, is Microsoft, Sony, Activision Blizzard, Epic, EA, Electronic Arts, because they don't just make sports games. They make shooters. They make RPGs. One of their shooters they make is Apex Legends. So that's developers. And then you have endemic companies like Logitech. They make keyboards, mouses, and headsets. Astro Gaming headsets. Lucid Sound. Say Samsung. LG. That's the techie side. It's kind of like if you ever been to a Best Buy, that's what you're gonna see at E3. You're gonna see but you're gonna see bigger booths. And these booths are the area where they stage up their whatever game or product they're announcing for the year.
Oh, and right, because that's their hey, this is what we've got coming up.
Yeah, it's like a consumer thing too.
Okay.
So it's a little B&B there, business and business, business to business. But then the first 2 days is all business. So it's like corporate people walking the floor, going to these different companies just to see how they can either sponsor or partner with other companies within their field. Obviously, like for example, Logitech going to EA saying, hey, we'll make a custom keyboard that says EA Sports on it when Madden comes out this year, and we'll make it look like the football field, or have the graphics, whatever graphics you want on the keyboard and the mouse. So then, or a controller. So they'll partner like that. And nice. So that's the first couple of days, all the B&B, all the business folks there. But then the third, fifth, and sixth day is then they let us, the fanboys and girls that love video games on every level, from casual to old school retro to new stuff and what's coming out, between June, because it's June, every June, unfortunately, it's canceled this year.
What?
But yes, they just canceled it about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, because it's still that, I say that event of any con Gaming Con got more affected by COVID than any. And
Ah.
even then, before that, like 2017 E3, so I pledged to myself that I was going to E3 for the rest of my life. That and Comic Con, San Diego
Okay.
Comic Con. So I was on there until world pandemic happened. So
Gotcha.
it messed up my record. So in 2017,
Well, mess up everyone's record, right?
correct,
Yeah.
correct. So 2017 E3, I'm in Astro Gaming headsets. They're kind of like their lounge.
Okay.
I'm sitting there talking to some of their higher ups that run the business for them, and they were talking about, you know, how the price of the booth, you know, where they have their display, prices were going up, you know, and these are the big companies complaining and talking. It's like, we're, you know, we almost didn't come because so and so is like this much per square foot, blah, 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 you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. And I was like, so that was kind of like a preview that eventually it'd probably slow down anyway, you know, because I remember that year, EA, was it? Yeah, EA actually did it where they had their event in Los Angeles, but not with E3. Like they did it like 2 miles away in Hollywood.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go see anything that was EA, you had to go like towards Hollywood. And so I went there first. And one day it was 3 of the 4 days I was there. So one day I went there and they had it like they just rented out a parking lot, and it was everything EA, from the Madden to the NBA Live, some of the Star Wars games. I was just because the Fallen Order,
yeah.
was just launching then. And so Fallen Order was all over. I was like, of course, I was like, oh my God, I gotta get it. So I ended up playing the demo, and they had like the new FIFA coming out that year. So they just took over a whole area. So that was kind of the first signs of companies kind of, you know, bucking, you know, paying those high booth fees. And then the other company, same one, actually same year, Microsoft, they just said, you know what? We're gonna be in the city as E3, but we just gonna buy the theater next to the building next to you. We just buy this building, and we're gonna call that the Microsoft. I think it was something Microsoft. It was like the Microsoft room, but it was literally another convention center directly next to E3 across the street. Where
I'm sure that made him happy.
Yeah, with Phil Knight, the executive CEO for Microsoft, basically come out and they make their announcement of all their games. And I remember the one big one they made right before COVID was 2019, is when Keanu Reeves came out for Cyberpunk 2077. Of course, I'm a big fan. I think, you know, I've been watching him. I didn't watch all the Bill and Ted's, but I've been watching them since the first one. I didn't see the last one. I got to watch it just to say I watched it, so I can have that under my belt, so I'm not in a geek conversation and I don't know what everybody's talking about. But, you know, Matrix and all that. So he did that big announcement, you know, and so after that, and then obviously pandemic happens. But you saw, you know, with that meeting that I had, or sit down with the Astro Gaming headsets company guys, I was like, the writing was on the wall that E3 eventually was going to start losing companies, because they're like, look, man, you keep upping these prices, man. Our overhead is this already. So it was interesting to see that.
I'm an Astro guy. I got an A10 set of A10s that I've worn for, gosh, I don't even know, probably about 7-8 years now.
Right.
They're perfect. They're great.
Yeah,
I love
they're a good
A10s.
pair. They do a good. They have quality, you know. And then they doing like the faceplate or the little plates on the side. You can exchange them out for your favorite color or team. Like they have the esports teams out there in Call of Duty League. I'm not sure if it's Overwatch 2 you could get, but I know Call of Duty for sure. They sponsor Call of Duty League.
Yeah.
And maybe NBA 2K League. Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, they flip out the plates on that, and you could just get them in all different colors: white, black, blue, green. I'm like, it's tough enough to pass up.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. As a gamer.
Favorite moment at E3, favorite game you got to demo out of E3. Because I know I'm sure there's been a lot.
I had a few. Oh, the best one. This is classic. I love funny stuff. Like, I mean, we all, it's just like eating right. You got to laugh in life. That is one tip for you. I'll give to everybody listening in. Laugh as much as you possibly can. That is a great remedy to having a bad day, a bad moment, whatever's going on in your life. Could find something to get you to laugh. Awesomeness. So I'm at E3 it might have been the same year as the whole Microsoft EA thing. So like 2017, 2018. And I meet a group of soldiers. So a friend of mine, Greg Zion, he is a nonprofit organizer. He has a nonprofit called Pros versus Joes. and I met him at where did I meet him? Oh, I met him at Microsoft. It was a hidden studio at that time, but it's known now. But it was a secret studio that everybody knew about.
Right.
That
Worst kept secret.
Right.
Sort
It
of
was the
thing,
worst kept secret of Microsoft and the video game industry, where they played tournaments, Gears of War, Halo, all their games. And so I met Greg there, and he's like, "Hey, G, I'm gonna be in I'm gonna have a booth at E3." And so shoot, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with this?
Funny thing.
Oh, funny thing.
Yeah.
That's right. So he said, "Yes, I'm gonna have a booth, and I got some soldiers that's gonna be with me. Air Force." I'm like, "Cool, I'll be there." So I get there, he gets there, he's already set up, and he got this area that, he's a nonprofit. He gets it for free. It's like 75, almost 10,000 square feet. I think, if not more.
Okay.
Free. So I'm like, what would, like, thank God you're a nonprofit, bro. And then he's like, yeah, I know. And so I walk into his area. It's all decked out military style. And then the group comes up. And this one guy, because I'm still friends with him today, and Dustin. So Dustin, he is at the time, he's retired now, but at the time he was a jet engine mechanic. So very, very smart, but has a hell of a sense of humor. Awesome, great dude. Family's great. They're back home. They're back in Cincinnati now. So right at the time, he was stationed in Vegas, in the base there. But he obviously, Vegas, LA, 3 hours apart. So him and his wife drive over. He's with the group of guys, other Air Force guys, and so we go demo Resident Evil Biohazard.
Okay.
I think it was like 7, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, VR.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Okay.
So it got real fun and interesting and cool all at the same time. Scary, real, creepy. It's a horror.
You're
game.
in a horror game.
Yeah, it's Resident Evil. One of the very popular horror games, well-known horror games from the movies, with Mila Jovovich. Done a great job with her role there. So we get in the booth, and we're getting special treatment because he's military, and I'm just being quiet. I'm not, so they don't recognize. I'm the type of guy. If you know me, if you don't recognize me, I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, you should know who I." No, I'm not that dude. So I'm sitting there taking it all in, because they're like, "Oh man, thank you for your service." Da, 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 da. He's like, "Please, thank you." Blah blah blah. He said, "Give me the day I goggles. Let's go." I like this dude. Okay, Dustin is on fire. So we get the goggles, we put them on, and so he goes first. I'm like, "No, you can go first. I want to watch it to see what's going on. I want to see the game too, but I'm gonna play it in a second. No problem. I'm patient." Put the goggles on him and the controller, or the little wands and everything. And he's like walking and talking, through the first entry point of the game, where you're going into the part of the property where all these mysterious deaths or a ghost is being seen, stuff like that in the game. And so it's 2 characters. One character, or actually it's 2 characters. Yes, 2 characters. One is but both cops, and then it's the guide and the person that owns the property, walking them through the gate and then into the house. And while they're walking up to the house, Dustin is like, it has nothing. It does, and he in his head, VR meant that the game hears him, and they listen to every beck and call. So to him, he thought it was like full thing. Like when I say I don't want to go in that room, that we're gonna turn around and go out the other. No, I'm like. So I'm sitting there. He's like, "Hey, bro, they're talking to they're doing their dialogue that the video game's been programmed to do." And he's going, the program, the game is saying, "Hey, we gotta go in this house. We gotta investigate. It's been some sightings of this monster, or this, something killed the cat or whatever." And he's like, "No, man, that ain't for me. I like my job. I know I'm a cop. I'm supposed to protect the server, but I want to can I leave?" I'm like, me and the guy, it's a guy in there helping us out with the goggles, and the guy looking at me like, "Is he serious?" I'm like, "I just met him, and yes, I think he's serious." I'm like, I'm in tears. I'm like, "Oh my God."
Talking to a
and I'm like,
computer.
"Dustin," I said, "Type Dustin, it's the video game. It's programmed. They coded it obviously to do this scene, but you can't tell the tour guide to take you away from the house. That's not happening. We're not there yet."
It's not a create your own adventure.
Whoever was it, Ubisoft, or was it Ubisoft? No, not Ubisoft, but whoever created that game, they're not on that level yet. That's like, will we want them to be one day? Yes, but Capcom.
Oh yeah,
Capcom. That's who it is. Capcom, they're not on that level. Oh, trust me, if they were, we would know. But they're not. That game ain't that serious where you can just say something. I think there's a few games out now that kind of getting close to that. That ain't the game. All right, man. I was like for 10 minutes losing it. I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. This is gold. And ever since then, we always talk about that when I call them up, check on them. Hey man, how you doing? Hey, remember that E3? Remember Resident Evil Biohazard? I'm like, man, oh my goodness. I wish I could just rewind that over and over again. If I need a time to laugh, I will think about you in that demo when you lost your mind about because you thought you were really. You said when you heard VR, it just took you there. Like, yeah, it's VR, but you're not like in the game. You're a part of it. You're kind of interacting, but it's not it. You know, you could touch, but you can't like grab and pull and say, "Hey, man, get on my back. We getting out of it." You can't. That can't happen.
That's incredible.
Hilarious.
The closest thing I've had into a VR incident was my buddy busted 2 separate like ceiling lights
because he's like
Getting
attacking
too into
something
it, yeah.
or climbing or whatever, shooting. Yeah.
punching up.
Yes.
Not talking to it.
That always, I see that on TikTok all the time. People get too much into it and they let the wand go into the TV or to the ground, and the wand just shatters because it's just plastic. You can't, they're not built to be thrown into the ground or into a TV. It's like, oh man, come on. You get too excited.
Is VR still the future? I know that was like all the rage there for a couple
when it came
years.
out. Yeah.
Are they still building to something with it?
They're trying to, like, I know Oculus does it, which I think is obviously it's either HP. It's a computer company, I know. And then obviously PlayStation 5 just dropped their second one. And I know from obviously entertainment, family, date night type stuff, they want to continue to promote it. I know the esports side of it, it's been talked about because obviously to have, I've been to cons where they'll have a whole area clear out and have everything marked off like motion capture. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Have little balls on the walls and maybe you put on yourself when you're going to get in the game. So they do that for little laser tag type competitions. I've seen that, but I haven't seen, I know there's some leagues that are VR around the country and around the world. I just, obviously with it not being at the college level, don't really see it where it's a competition for us. Yeah. But I know it is out there, and I know it's for sure out at esports facilities where you could go and play, pay your money, play for 3-4 hours or whatever. It is there. And it's definitely something to get into in terms of if you want to have some fun. You can experience things from shooters to, racing cars or I know one I did was I was a bird and you were flying around like a bird, like an eagle. It was called Eagle Run. And, you were a bird. You were flying, how they go high in the sky to do a death bomb drop, stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool. But in terms of actual like competition, I think it's like in some areas they're doing it, parts of the world. I could look it up. I don't know right now, but I say if they will have to really obviously product test it against competitors, if they have it, to make sure it hits, because gamers, man, you don't put a good game out, you're gonna hear about it.
They're gone. You lost your shot.
Yeah, you gotta impress them. You gotta impress us. That's who we are. We're gamers, and we're gonna be very opinionated if a game and especially supposed to be an esports title, if it's not hitting right, you as the developer, you will know. So,
and again, a lot of it's first impression.
Yes,
right. I know that there are going to be bugs when it first comes out, little glitches that we'll have to clean up. But if the core gameplay isn't good, if it's boring, if it doesn't really end, like you mentioned Cyberpunk 2077, the way that game launched,
oh my God,
that was DOA. And that's so sad.
I wanted that to work so bad, but as soon as I got it during the first launch. I was one of the people that pre-ordered it and I'm always positive. I'm like, look, I know this came out during COVID. I'm gonna just hopefully they were able to finish this product and to see where it goes. And I played it, and like after a while, my missions were coming to basically a dead end. So like say like one hand mission, after every mission, you were getting rewarded money because you had to go do a job. Go do the job, get paid, but you go pack. You go do your job somewhere in the west side of town, and you come back to this other part of town to go meet the person that's supposed to pay you. And there was never that person. One time I followed the little, they call it the waypoint or set. Yeah, waypoint you set. So I went to do the job, came back, found the waypoint. And it was just the middle of the street. And I even went. I was like, because it was like, it's a very in-depth graphic game. So so I knew that they had structure, buildings, and they had sewers. So I'm like, okay, let me maybe go down to the sewer. Maybe the guy with the money is standing in the middle of the sewer. And of course, I go down there, no money, just the way marker. I'm like, okay, yeah, this game is not complete. I'm not, and I like to finish stuff. So I was like, that game is obviously sitting in my house, not completed because of that. And I was like, I can't do it because every other some of the missions connects to the storyline that helps you because it's an RPG. So some things you got to do to complete the game, and that was one of the things I had to do, but it would never give me my money to say I completed the mission. So yeah.
Yeah. So we just talked about the future of VR, maybe.
Yeah.
Where do mobile sports or mobile games fall? Is that something on your radar here at Nebraska? Is that a different realm? Where do mobile games?
No, it's on the radar. It's Clash Royale. It's PUBG.
Okay.
And it's mobile Fortnite as well.
Ooh.
High school level in some states, not here in Nebraska yet. California, I believe, has it. Texas has it. PUBG here, but mobile games is not here in Nebraska yet. But I'll say yet. But I say for college, yes. They had, I said, Clash Royale. I just got to find the players. PUBG, got to find the shooter players that want to sit there and mobile and do it. At the school I was at, Lakeland, I was recruiting. I was really looking for really anybody and everybody in terms of the games, and because I just want to make sure that every kid that plays something has an opportunity to get an education off of it.
Right.
Because that's what I was able to do playing football. Through my talent, you basically earn a scholarship. And so same thing with these kids that are talented at these games, and some of them being Clash Royale, PUBG, Fortnite, that are mobile games, also on the college level and the pro level, then they could get opportunity to do that, in that game. And Clash Royale, I played that, and it's fun. You kind of rank up, by defending your little area. It's almost like a chess. You get your pieces, you got the money to buy certain soldiers, you put them out, then you let them fight. And then whatever, obviously, when the fight's over, who you have, who survived, then comes back to your inventory. Then you have to, whatever. If you win, you get more points. That means you could buy bigger soldiers, more cannons, and all the little things you got to put on the map. Little, what do they call it? I think it's like turn-based fighting games or something like that. Or RTS, I know, real-time strategy games. You got that where it's like more chess than playing like a fast-paced shooter or a sports game or anything like that.
What do you do in a mobile game? Do you have any go-tos?
I say Clash Royale. I do that, and then it was
what's your deck?
Oh man, I forgot. I haven't played in a while because I've been so PC and console heavy.
Makes
but
sense.
I remember then when Clash Royale came out, Gears of War came out with the same version of it, but just with Gears of War characters. So I went directly to that too, and I played that so much I got to top 300 players in the game. Yeah, and then they shut the server off.
What? No,
I went back into the game.
They shut it off on you?
Yeah, I went back in the server or into the game like a month ago, 2 months ago. It's like, oh, let me get in some Gears. And I know I'm not ranked high no more because I haven't played it in a few years. But I went in there and it kept like trying to load. Then eventually it's on the third time I attempted, it said, "Oh, server's done." I'm like, this game just came out like 5 years ago. Like, oh, I'm like, no. But no, that one of my faculty members, Alan Eno.
Alan's good people.
Yep, he's real good. He sent me. So we went on a trip to we went to the college esports expo in Boston about a month ago, and then we were there for a day, and then it was supposed to be a 2-day event, but it got canceled. The second day got canceled, so no problem. We got E3, we got PAX West or PAX East right down the street.
You do.
So we was able to do that, and so Alan sent me this game. I saw him. We were sitting in the lobby of the hotel. He was waiting for me as I came down, and I'm watching him play this game. I came up from behind him, and I was like standing behind him, and he kind of turned, looked at me. He's like, "Oh, okay." He said, "You ready?" Yep. He said, "Hold on, give me a second." He's sitting there playing this app game called Lemminges. Lemmings. Lemons. Oh,
Lemmings, yeah.
Lemmings.
Yeah.
And it's basically, you got these lemmings are little characters, and you basically guide them to the exit. So they come out the end, there's a door that opens and they start falling out. And hopefully the map is basically like a puzzle game. And so the puzzle is basically you create a path for them without them dying.
Oh,
And so because
okay.
they have booby traps, they have a buzzsaw, they'll have fire, like they have bubbles that lift them up and then drop them. The bubble pops, and then if they're high enough, they'll splat. They're turning a little. It's just a little puddle of blood and everything. I'm like, this is a app game. It's fun because you're like, okay, you just figure out. You look at the map and it kind of pauses before it starts, before the lemonies start coming out, and so you can see how where I gotta put. So you gotta guide them with either creating a staircase or stopping them. Like you make one of the lemonies like stop, don't go this way. Or you keep them away from the bubbles, and then you have a parachute just in case they do go up the bubbles. You could put a parachute there and they catch it on the way down so they don't die.
Okay.
Now parachute, umbrella. That's what it is,
nice.
umbrella.
Mary Poppins style.
Yeah. So I was like, and so ever since then, I've been playing that thing. Now it's one old mobile game I've been back on. Is that I'm gonna definitely because Clash Royale is one of my classic favorites because it was just one of those things that you could, if anything. It was time because, like, if I had to wait on something, like at an airport, there you go. Time goes by, and you're like, "Oh, the flight's ready." It's delayed, and now because people, man, it's delayed, and then I'm like, "Man, let's turn on the app game, alleviate all the stress."
It's funny. We're gonna bring this a little bit full circle because I'm still playing Clash Royale.
Yeah.
Their next update, the community has taken to calling it the update for losers.
What?
Yeah, they announced it like a month ago, give or take, and literally the community, the day it's released, Ahman, they call it the update for losers. You can't come back from that.
Really? They being toxic?
Yeah. Like,
is it the game being toxic, or was it the community around it? Some people within it.
They didn't like the direction the developers were taking. I think they're adding another level on top, and they're making it less free to play friendly.
Right. Yeah,
and kind of not even adding anything to the end game for those upper level players, really. Okay. So it's a bad mix of that. So basically, they're giving out participation trophies, and
nobody wants that.
Reddit went off, and Twitter went off.
Reddit gets real. Like when it gets to Reddit, oh my
gosh,
that's potentially cancellation of the drop. Let's see here. Right now. I think it says here I'm like on a 21 is my rank. I don't know where that is now. Clash Royale. Hey man, because like I said, the fans are tough. It's like comic book fans, it's like movie fans or TV show fans. Like if you say something bad about Friends, you're gonna have problems.
Straight
it
up.
was a show I never watched, but a lot of people I know watch Friends, my wife included. And so when I've be like, what are we watching? I'm like, she's like, what? You don't know this? I'm like, I said I heard about it, but I never watched it. Every now and then I would catch Seinfeld every blue moon.
Okay.
But I'm more of a movie guy, especially with the apps coming out now, where it's not what we remember, and you may remember as a kid, it was appointment television. So basically, it was a show. It comes on every Monday night at 7 p.m. Or like Monday Night Football. But Monday Night Football is appointment, and now it's not really because you could watch it back, play it back, DVR it, whatever. But back, I'll say more in the early 90s and 80s, I remember that Thursday night was Cosby night. That was the Cosby Show. Right after that, eventually was Different World. Before that, and then Saturday morning cartoons. You wake up by 8 o'clock. You could catch Smurfs. You could catch Scooby-Doo. You could catch Snorkels, which is the mermaid version of Smurfs. And then either G.I. Joe or Transformers. All set at, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, boom, 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 all the way up. So, yeah, it was it was back in the day. Now you got these apps where you can say, oh, I'm going to watch Mandalorian right now. Then I'm going to watch the A-Team when I want to watch, So, yeah, it's a lot different these days.
Ahman, we've had you on now twice in 1 week. Spring game coverage. You were out there at Tipsy Tina's. We had you here for your show. It's been awesome. Last thing, little carrot to dangle. Any plans to take your team to E3 or PAX at that point? When they come back. Back online, yes. PAX, I'm already in talks. I got a contact right before I left. I met one of the E3 organizers, and I told him, look, I just got hired at University of Nebraska. I'm launching a program in the fall. I'm teaching now in the spring. And he was just like, what? He's like,
man, I used to draft you on my fantasy football. I hear that all the time. I love it. I love it when I hear it. But to say, look, I got a program that I'm in the College of Journalism and Mass Communication. So I got kids that are going for majors that they want to be at stuff like this. They want to produce content, you know, especially if it's video game content. Some of them in the club, you know, in my varsity team and the club team will be competing in this. And so if they obviously can't be the gamer, they want to be behind the scenes, running the cameras, running the boom, running the audio and the video, whatever, you know what, because they were doing Smash tournaments every day on every hour on the hour, Mario Kart every hour on the hour. And it was on the big screen, big camera and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Kids out there, stay tuned.
That is on the list. Yes,
They're going.
indeed.
That's awesome. He's the Husker legend, NFL legend, Ahman Green. Twice in 1 week. It's been a pleasure,
Awesome.
my man. Take care. We'll do it again next
You
week.
too, Austin. Thank you.
Ticket weeknights continue next. We got Cedars in here. We'll do that in just a sec. For Ahman, I'm Austin. Ticket weeknights rolls your way in just a sec.
Taylor Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish, and don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to win this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort; it's the entire dealership. Amazing service.
17 times. Wow. How does that go?
This part is to give us elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022. Honda of Lincoln is Lincoln's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could buy if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TVs, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job.
From Cobble Chevrolet GMC Studios in the welcome to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in. Ticket Weeknights continues here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Austin Norman. Big thanks to Ahman Green for sitting in with us for the last hour for the Ahman Green Show. We're flipping the page right now, though. We have a new hour that we're going to be bringing to you through the end of May. This is the Give to Lincoln Hour, brought to you by Cedars here in Lincoln, joined by two guests. We'll start over here with Kristen. Kristen, what's your role at Cedars?
I'm the Vice President for Communications at Cedars Organization.
Very nice. And then the gentleman over here, Jim, what do you do at Cedars?
I seem to be the president of the organization.
Seem to be or are?
There's a fine line, Austin.
Fine line?
I am the president of the organization, Austin, yes.
Very nice. So, yes, we got big wigs in here tonight. So thank you for tuning in here. Tuning Ticket and the Cedar Give to Lincoln Hour. Well, let's just start with why you guys are here. Jim, we'll start with you.
Great, thank you.
The Give to Lincoln Hour here through the end of May. What are we building up to here?
Well, the Cedars organization is truly a grassroots nonprofit organization, but that doesn't mean its impact is small. Every day, there are about 1,500 kids in our care, kids who are in very desperate situation. It's one of our 16 programs. It's the only emergency shelter for abused, neglected, and homeless kids in all of East Nebraska, and that's just one of our 16 programs. So it's a huge impact organization, and when we were founded back in 47, but it took the community. There were people in the community which came together to take care of that first child. And, we've always been of the people for the kids since that time. So, of course, fundraising is critically important. It makes up a significant part of our operating budget. And Give to Lincoln Day is a wonderful opportunity for everybody to support the wonderful human service and nonprofit organizations in this community.
That's what we're building up to. In just about a month, we'll be Give to Lincoln Day on Wednesday, May the 24th. Kristen, speak about Give to Lincoln Day, the impact that it makes for, the city, but theater specifically.
Absolutely. Give to Lincoln Day is really a day for our community. It's really a day where everybody kind of comes together and supports a lot of the nonprofits that keep our community the great place that it is to live. So a lot of us nonprofit folks, we focus on that day as a big fundraising day for us. But I think one of the really cool things about Give to Lincoln Day is the match that's offered by Lincoln Community Foundation. So, any gift means a lot to us, but on Give to Lincoln Day, that gift has a match to it too. So, your gift goes even further on that day. So.
That's awesome. We'll get into a little bit more of that, but specifically for this ticket audience for right now, we got, like I said, about a month. How ticket listeners help Cedars out?
Sure. So starting, on May 1st, all the way through the big Give to Lincoln Day on the 24th, all you have to do is go to the Give to Lincoln Day website, and it's so easy to pull up your favorite nonprofit organization, the one that touches your mind and your heart. You may put in Cedars if you like, and think about the 1,400 homeless kids that we are serving, and the kids and the families that we are supporting within that. And it's very, very easy. It'll take you right through. I have been a participant in Give to Lincoln Day charitably ever since it was founded, and so I vouch for how easy it is. You go to the website, find the nonprofit you care about, and do it.
It is just that simple. I looked up Give to Lincoln Day.
Yep.
First thing, the website's right there. You could not make it any easier for you. And as I sit here, Cedars nonprofit, and like you were saying, Kristen, there's a lot of nonprofits out there. Mm-hmm. We don't want to tear any of the other ones down. There's a lot of organizations doing great work. But from your experience, both personally, what is it about Cedars that has made it a staple for 75 years? Why is Cedars so important?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, a lot of people have been touched by the Cedars organization. I've worked there for a number of years, and, it's always interesting to hear people in the community talk to me about their experience with Cedars. Either they've known a kid who has been touched by the Cedars organization, or they know someone who's worked with the kids at Cedar, or a foster like that. So I think our reach is really, really broad in the community. And I think the work that we do, it just is unmatched. Our mission is safety, stability, and enduring family relationships for kids. And I think anyone understands why that's so important for kids who find themselves in vulnerable situations. So, yeah, I think also that, our community impact is one thing, but the community kind of coming together and supporting the organization is another thing that makes Cedars so special.
And if I may, on that note about the community coming together, it really is a broad community effort throughout the year. I was at Lincoln Trek Store today,